Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Jillo Lantern First Slice. I am the OutbackAl.
And I'm Chibi Noob.
And things look a little bit different, don't they, Chibi?
Yeah, they do.
Just a little bit. So, like, if you know this game, because we played this before, they originally did this for a, what's it called? A game jam?
Yeah.
Or something?
It's like one of those, 24-hour, you throw a game together kind of things.
Yeah, and for, a game that was, slapped together essentially in 24 hours, I think we got a lot of entertainment out of it before. Despite the fact that, it had some shortcomings, there wasn't a whole lot of, gameplay. I think we all were like, you know what, this is really funny, and just we were enjoying ourselves a lot. So, in recent months, they've actually redeveloped it and made it into a full game, like an actual game now. So we had to come and take a look at it because they're also doing a Kickstarter for their final chapter, which, we'll put a link in the description below. If you have seen us play this before, we're going to play through chapter 1 again to kind of see the changes and see the updates and see what all they did with it. And if you like it, hey, maybe throw them a little bit of cash so they can finish out the series. I don't know, Chibi, any thoughts before we get started here?
I want to play the game.
All right, you heard her. Let's start a new interview. Ooh, got a little thing down at the bottom. That's new.
Ooh. Oh.
Please, take a seat. Yeah, it's just the two of us, so we're going to have to, do this kind of quick.
That's fine.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, I'm a ma'am. I would like to start by assuring you that everything you tell me will be kept in the strictest of confidence and will only be used or distributed as is absolutely required. I need you to tell me the whole truth about what happened, no matter how horrific, unbelievable, or impossible it may have been. Can you do that? Ooh,
yes.
Can we do that?
Oh, we get a choice.
Yeah, okay. Immediately out the gate, we got some gameplay. Already improved.
Ooh. I think so. My concept of what's impossible is pretty different from what it was 2 days ago, though.
I think I'm just realizing the cursor is supposed to be kind of like pumpkin colored and got the little veins and stuff on it. I don't know if they did that before. That's kind of nice. That's good. That's a good sign, Miss Finale. Can you state your full name, age, and date of birth for the record, please?
Oh, cute. Vivian Victoria Finala, 20 years old, October 31st.
I don't know if they did any updates to this, but at the same time, I don't think it needed updated.
Nope.
I think it was kind of fun to how they were mixing the 2D, 3D sort of weird stuff that was going on.
Like how they were a diorama.
Yeah,
because that's what they are.
Yeah. That was yesterday for you, wasn't it? This all happened on your birthday.
Yeah. Is that an action figure of me?
I like to use models to help understand events. Is that okay?
Sure.
Thank you. We can begin whenever you're ready.
Well, where should I begin?
From the begin. What brought you to the lake? From the beginning.
My roommate, Joy Rancher, Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, that's fun. Did we? I don't know if we got that last time.
I
don't know if she had a last name.
I don't know if she did either.
I feel like we would have pointed that out before. Should we just do every new character we just trade off?
Sure.
Okay.
My birthday was on Halloween, and there was a party out on Lake Shish Kebab, so she dragged me out there.
Did you want to go?
No, but she said I had to go.
Take your time. There's no rush.
We went out to the lake. The party was okay for a little bit. Then people started disappearing, including Joy.
Yes, it always sucks when your joy disappears.
All of the hope has been sucked out of the room. I went out looking for her, but I found some dead bodies instead.
How did you know they weren't actors or props? It was Halloween.
I'm studying to be a forensic psychologist. I can tell a real corpse when I see one. A forensic psychologist is not going to give you any sort of thing
No.
for this.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
You're only gonna be a regular psychologist. That's what it is.
I think I just realized this is Ema from Ace Attorney, and I'm immediately gonna hate her now, aren't I?
No.
No, we'll see.
Or smell one.
Yeah, you never forget your first.
Oh no, you really don't.
What happened next?
I went back to the party to get help. Joy was still missing, but I couldn't go looking for her by myself with an unknown murderer on the loose. There was barely anyone left on the beach, and the people who were there were too far gone to understand what I was saying. Nothing I said seemed to get through to them. I figured they were all too drunk or high to understand me. I should have realized.
They was dead. Don't try to get ahead of yourself. Just keep going in the order of events as they happened.
Well, the beach was no good, so I headed over to the old abandoned ranger station that was nearby. Abandoned ranger station? Oh, this place.
Yeah.
Mark, the school quarterback, and his football friends had set up a sort of VIP area over there. I should have realized something was up when I went inside and found them all completely sober.
Yeah, nothing more suspicious than a sober jock at a party.
I tried to tell them about the bodies, but of course, they didn't believe me. They just laughed and said it was a prank. It's just a prank, Ken! But I managed to convince Mark and one of his buddies to follow me back to the docks to see for themselves. It took 10 minutes of them messing around with the bodies before they were convinced they were real corpses. After that, they agreed to help me look for Joy.
I feel like you have some comments.
I do have some comments.
Let her rip. I mean, why not?
Tampering with a crime scene.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They didn't go back to tell the others or call for help?
No, Mark agreed with me that finding Joy was the most important thing to do at the moment.
I mean, you do need to prioritize finding joy in life.
I guess. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was too emotional.
That's perfectly understandable, Miss Finale. Please continue.
Well, we found Joy's body pretty quickly. She was in the middle of a giant pentagram laid out on the forest floor a little ways away. While I was sobbing my eyes out over her body, a muscular woman with a jack-o'-lantern for a head walked out of the woods. Nobody recognized her from the party, and she didn't say anything. She just raised a bloodstained machete and started power walking towards us.
I like that. We should mention that, like, they had a proofreader for this game to, like, fix a lot of the spelling mistakes, which I'm a little bit happy and a little bit sad about. Happy that, this ends up looking a little bit better and a little more professional than that. A little sad because I did love all the goof ups a little bit, and I did love reading those, but it still got comedic timing, so I'm happy.
I did. I will say, like, I feel like for a game where that sort of thing is, like, sort of a kind of a part of, like, the game itself, like pizza game.
Oh,
I feel like that's an okay game to keep, like, stuff like that in, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that, like, they're like, oh, grammar, let's do that.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we all assumed she was responsible for the murders and ran.
Not the best first impression.
No. I've had worse, actually.
So would you say she was attractive?
As we ran from her, we kept finding more dead bodies scattered around the forest, all hanging from the trees. There were some up in the trees, a lot of them were nearly tripped over, and just corpses everywhere.
Oh, did any of you try to leave or call for help during that time?
There's no cell service near the lake, or any other working phones since the ranger station shut down, so calling for help was out of the question. Why is there not a phone?
Everyone's got cell phones, so no one wants a landline.
We couldn't go back to town either because Mark lost his keys while running from the Pumpkin Woman, and every vehicle we found was wrapped around a tree with another body or two inside it. It was like a slasher movie mixed with a drunk driving PSA. You know, like the ones from school?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the early slasher movies were almost kind of like drunk driving PSA. Well, not driving, but like kind of abstinence propaganda. What about Leave It on Foot?
I mean, it was the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Hiking at night in that area is inadvisable at the best of times. The lake is surrounded on all sides by mountains, and Mark insisted that taking the road on foot would make us sitting ducks for the Pumpkin Woman. Given all the bodies, nobody felt like arguing with him. At first, we tried barricading ourselves inside the ranger station, but after we told the football team about the Pumpkin Woman, they decided that setting up some extra security was a better idea. They had some innovative ideas.
Let's Home Alone this shit.
Unfortunately, the traps proved to be more lethal to them than to the Pumpkin Woman. As soon as she showed up, most of the football players ran right into their own traps trying to escape. Or they fell off the roof and broke their neck while shouting at everyone else to watch out for the traps. It was utter chaos until Kenny ran out with a shotgun and blasted the woman right in the pumpkin. Pew! She shrugged it off with an echoey, spooky laugh, then grabbed the shotgun and broke it in two with her bare hands.
Damn.
We realized that whatever she was, she couldn't be human, so we ran.
I feel like I've probably brought this up I know I brought up Tucker and Dale versus Evil last time, but there's another one that it's kind of reminding me of, which is The Final Girls, which came out in 2015, where a bunch of horror movie fans are sucked into an 80s slasher film and have to live out the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty
honestly, good. Kind of sounds like at least a couple of books that have come out within recent years that are all about final girls, having to deal with another serial killer.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Might want to watch that at some point. I still got to show you guys Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
It's on the list, isn't it?
Of course it is.
When we stopped to catch our breath, the three of us tried to figure out what to do next. I said we should chance it and take the road back to town. Mark said we needed to find somewhere to hide until someone came to save us. Who the fuck's gonna come to save us? Then Kenny suggested that we visit the old witch who lived on the lake. I'd never heard of a witch of the lake before, but Kenny said he'd heard rumors about her at the party. We put two and two together and realized she must know something about the bulletproof pumpkin lady. Mark was against it at first, but he changed his mind when Kenny and I threatened to leave without him.
That sounds like a Mark.
We took a boat across the lake and trudged through the forest for a bit until we found her cave. The witch wasn't there, but she had left a spellbook behind a table. It was written in Old German, which is my second language thanks to my grandmother, and it was open to a spell summoning a demon, which explained our pumpkin friend. As I picked up the book, the pages flipped on their own to another spell, one that could kill the pumpkin demon. Should have questioned it, but I had a way to avenge Joy. That was all I really cared about. God, I was such an idiot.
So you took the book to kill the demon.
That was the plan. But on the way out, we ran into the witch. Well, technically, Kenny ran into her right onto the point of her magic knife.
Oh my god, she killed Kenny!
Go, Kenny!
You bastards.
Oh my gosh. He melted into a puddle of goo right in front of our eyes. Even with all the carnage I'd seen that night, it was stomach churning. The sound, the smell, it was awful.
She had another magical artifact?
No, the knife was just another spell from the book.
I see. Please continue.
The witch told us that if we gave back the book, she would destroy the demon. Mark seemed willing until I said she was lying and that she was the one who had brought it here in the first place. The witch tried to attack me and take the book, but Mark tripped her and threw her into her own cauldron. We got out of there while she boiled to death. Oh, it's another Hansel and Gretel moment.
No, it cannot be Hansel and Gretel. That's the new German. She only knows the old German. A very grim fate for a witch.
Well, we didn't have any breadcrumbs to follow, but I needed to find somewhere with clear access to the sky to cast the spell. So we went back to the lake.
Ugh.
We were about halfway there when we heard heavy footsteps following behind us.
What did you do?
The only appropriate thing to do when you're being stalked by a demon.
Demon, call out to them and try to befriend the demons?
Demon!
It's your boy. Or your girl. Or whatever in this game.
We ran like hell.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, are we running?
Now, I do love these little, transitions of the fun music.
Ooh!
Yeah, you remember this.
Yeah. Mark, wait!
I did something for this. What did I do for this? No, Envy did something for this. Are you
hi,
kidding me?
Mark.
That thing's right behind this. Or no, wait, did I do that for someone else?
I don't know. Mark was a star...
I think it was an ever-changing accent.
I don't know. Mark was the star quarterback, so I had some difficulty keeping up with him as he ran like a scared rabbit through the dim forest. I could hear the steady, rhythmic crunching of the underbrush under the demon's boots behind us.
Still just power walking.
Its steps were even, unhurried, but they were coming closer and closer with every thudding step, like it could walk faster than I could. I forced myself to push through the pain in my chest and sprint after Mark, but the footsteps just kept getting closer. Damn it. I'm the one with the book, you stupid...
Classic mistake.
Damn. My foot snagged on a tree root. The spellbook went flying out of my arms as I landed flat on my face on the forest floor. I had the wind knocked out of me, but I pushed myself up and spat out some dead leaves as I looked around for the book. I'd landed in the shadows, but I knew exactly where it was. It was like it was calling to me.
Can you describe the book?
It was grotesque.
Das Happen Herben Blurb?
It was like it was alive. The spine of the book was a real human spine, complete with ribs that sank into the cover of the book. It was bound in pale white skin that shifted and pulsed slightly under my fingers whenever I touched it.
It's metal as fuck. Interesting. Please continue.
I scrambled over to grab the book and heard something crashing through the forest ahead of me. I looked up and saw Mark running back for me.
Hey, come with me if you want to live and all that shit. Let's go.
I saw his eyes dart over my head before growing wide with terror. I didn't have to look back to know what he had seen. I took his hand before he ran off without me again, and he half dragged me through the forest. We ran for a bit longer until we hit the docks that we had tied the boat to.
Come on, just a little further.
I'm trying. Uh-oh. When we reached the far end of the dock, Mark stopped dead in his tracks.
Dead.
I nearly ran into him and was about to ask what his problem was when I saw the answer for myself. The boat we tied to the dock was floating nearly 30 yards away out in the middle of Lake Shish Kebab. The rope we used to tie it to the dock had been hacked apart by a familiar-looking machete that was still embedded in the post. I felt the bottom drop out of my stomach as I realized why the demon had seemed so casual as it chased us. Derp-de-derp. Clever bitch.
We're gonna have to swim.
This book is our only chance at stopping that thing, and we can't risk it getting wet.
Okay, you stay here, and I'll get the boat.
I think the escape plan ship has already sailed.
Nani?
We slowly turned to look behind us. Standing there, at the edge of the forest, was an annoyingly self-satisfied looking pumpkin demon. She thought she had trapped us, but she was wrong.
She was just standing there, menacingly.
Get out of there, SpongeBob! As she stepped out of the shadows, I felt the spellbook wriggling under my fingers. The power inside it thrummed through me, practically begging for me to unleash it. Oh, I can hear a heartbeat. And It was almost like I could hear a voice whispering in my ear, telling me what to do, telling me to avenge Joy's death. Hello.
I don't know if they had the little, pulsy thing going on with this before. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. I had my target, my weapon, and my perfect opportunity. Buy me some time.
Well.
I only need a minute.
Buh.
Damn it, will you stop being such a coward and be a man for once in your life?
Why did you call me?
I said you're a coward. But if you want to prove otherwise, then here's your chance. Just stall that thing for a minute and don't let it get back onto the dock. Or run around screaming and distracted. Just buy me some time. Mark glared at me for a second, then adjusted the collar of his letterman jacket and grabbed the machete stuck in the dock post. It took him a couple tries, but he managed to pull it free and nearly fell on his ass in the process.
Alright, I'll take care of this bitch. Then I'll show you exactly what kind of a man I am.
He slicked his hair back and strode towards the waiting demon. Oh boy. I tried to focus on finding the spell the book had shown me back in the cave. Come on, where is it?
Hey, freaky face! Do you have any idea who you're dealing with here? My name is Marcus Andrew Martin, star quarterback of Craven Part U. And you'd best remember that, because I'm the one who's about to send you back to the pumpkin patch. In pieces! Small ones!
I did my best to ignore Mark's attempted trash talking the 6-foot-tall, 300-pound killing machine and focus on flipping through the book while not getting any paper cuts.
That's how you get hepatitis.
I don't want to find out what I might summon if I spill blood on that thing. Come on, I know it's in here somewhere. Aha!
Take on me.
And there it was. Toteden Mordor.
One does not simply Toten de Mordor. I feel like I definitely made that joke. Which translates to kill the killer, correct? What kind of spell was it exactly?
It was supposed to be a sort of divine judgment. If you cast a spell on someone who had killed a human being, then the wrath of the heavens would smite the wicked from the earth. A magical trial and execution rolled into one.
You think you're tough, huh?
I tried to keep my focus on the spell as I began the incantation, but it was difficult.
You think you're tough, huh? What? You think you got what it takes to take me?
Mark was making it impossible for me to concentrate. I have a really hard time focusing on anything when there were people talking around me. He was screaming so loudly I could have heard him across the lake. Pumpkin is unimpressed. He was at least buying me time, though. The demon was still watching him and hadn't moved from her spot at the edge of the woods. Although, I wouldn't say she looked exactly intimidated.
We trashed the Del Toro Bulls and the Rob Town Zombies and the Stephenville Kings.
Oh my god.
And we are gonna crush you into pumpkin pie, you little freak. Wit.
I tried to block him out and focus on the spell, but he had started saying we instead of I, and it was really throwing me off.
Fucking grammar, right?
Yeah. I was just about to yell at him to shut up when...
We're the Cravenport Slashers, and we're gonna slash you from here to...
The sounds of Mark's sudden sputtering forced me to look up from the book. He had his back to me, but I could see him tottering back and forth while he clutched at his throat. He dropped the machete and took a few staggering steps back before turning around so I could see him. His throat had been cut. But he looked surprised, almost confused.
I take it the demon had finally gotten tired of his boasting.
Huh? No, she still hadn't moved from her spot. If anything, she looked even more surprised and confused than Mark was. Mark was the one who was a killer.
I don't understand. What happened?
I couldn't figure it out either until... She closed her eyes and slapped a hand to her face.
I'm afraid I still don't understand. What killed him?
In a word, hype. The Cravenport Slashers team slogan is slash you from here to ear. He killed himself with the machete.
Yep.
How such a violent and oddly phrased slogan had survived past the 90s is a mystery. But the phrase is always accompanied by jerking your thumb across your neck in a quick slashing motion.
You don't mean...
It seemed Mark had hyped himself up a bit too much and forgot the very real and very sharp machete he was holding.
Death by Team Spirit, that's a new one.
Mark looked at me and reached a hand out as if asking for help.
The fuck are we gonna help you, dumbass?
I don't know. I have no idea what the idiot expected me to do. He just slashed his own throat. I couldn't exactly put a band-aid on it. He managed to take one shaky step towards me before falling to his knees and slipping over onto his side, still twitching and gurgling. I stared at him for nearly a full minute as my brain tried to process what had happened. So many people had died that night. I was honestly a bit numb to it by then. But seeing someone die in such a stupid way was... I couldn't look away. I just stared at him, shaking my head. You dumbass.
What about your demon? Oh, hello.
She was just doing the same thing. Just watching and shaking her head. When he finally stopped moving, we just kind of looked at each other awkwardly for a second. Oh. Then she started stomping her way up the dock towards me. I turned my attention back to the spell and started reciting again. The thudding footsteps on the dock were significantly less distracting for me than Mark had been, so I finally was able to concentrate. This time, I could feel the power building in the words.
Can you describe what it was like, casting a spell for the first time?
It was like there was an electrical current going through my body. No, more like puppet strings threading themselves through my bones. My German was a little rusty, but I remember there was a weird tingling sensation on my lips as I spoke. Like something else was shaping them into the correct syllables for me. The tingling grew stronger the further I read, and as it did, the words started to form more easily on my lips, until I didn't even have to think about it. It was like I'd been saying the words all my life, or something else had. As I read on, a powerful wind kicked up around me. It swept past me, but the demon was buffeted like she was fighting a hurricane, and it slowed her to a stop. Clouds started to appear out of nowhere above me, blocking out the light of the moon and the stars. It was almost pitch black except for the jack-o'-lantern face of the demon and the pages of the spellbook. I don't know if the pages were glowing or if I could see in the dark somehow, but the book wouldn't let me stop reading. It's evil. I could feel myself losing control. Part of me was scared of what was happening, but another part was... it felt so good, so powerful. God, I feel sick just thinking about it.
Go on.
She crazy. As I reached the end of the incantation, I paused at the last word and looked up at the demon. She was only a few feet away, but struggling against the wind to keep her footing. I had been so terrified of her before, but seeing her like that, so helpless against my power, it was...
Miss Finale?
I'm sorry. I thought it was okay, but...
It's alright, just take a minute.
Oh.
If I may ask a question, you said you felt like you were on puppet strings and something was guiding your lips. Did it feel like you had lost control, or did you just give in and not fight it?
I don't know if I can tell the difference. I'm not a very strong person. Not in any way. It's so much easier and safer to just do as I'm told and let other people take care of things for me. When I saw Joy's body that night, I realized I didn't have anyone left I could trust. I felt adrift. Alone. But then, I heard the whisper in my head. It didn't sound like anyone in particular, but it felt familiar. Save Oshi glowing. It was like I'd finally found exactly what I'd been looking for all my life. Someone else to just tell me what to do, and...
Miss Finale. Vivian.
What?
We lost you there for a second. You okay?
Sorry, I'm okay. I just realized something.
Oh, what's that?
I'm really not the same person I was back then. It's only been a day or two, but everything's changed. And I can never go back to being that person, can I?
Miss Finale, Vivian, I need you to know that none of what happened was your fault.
Oh,
except for the things that were definitely your fault.
Oh, are we a murderer? Thanks for saying that, but I think you'll see some of it was definitely my fault.
Well, we are always down for a confession.
Although, I can't take all the blame. She caused a lot of problems, too.
Your demon, you mean?
Yeah, my demon.
Way she's looking at you, I don't think that's your demon. I think you're her spellcaster. Let's continue then.
All I see is ooh-woo. Right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. She looked more annoyed than anything about the winds, but I remember staring into her glowing eyes as I brought my hand down and screamed the last word of the spell.
I'm blind.
The next instant, there was an explosion of sound and a flash of brilliant white light. I was blinded, but I could feel the raw power of the spell moving in slow motion. The bolt of lightning, very, very frightening me, I had summoned fell straight back on top of her. And missed.
Missed?
Yep, it took a hard right turn at the last millisecond and zapped a mark. Instead, he was very crispy.
The spell killed a dead man.
Dying man. I'm pretty sure he still had a little life left in him when the spell struck. Or maybe it was just lightning making his body do a little post-mortem jump.
But why did the spell pick a dying football star over a demon that had killed more than a dozen innocent people that night?
It would be a while until I figured that out. All I could do at the moment was watch in stunned silence as the overpowering smell of ozone and burnt rubber from Mark's melted sneakers filled my nose.
Ugh.
Gross. After a minute, I looked up from the smoldering pile of former football star to the inhuman killing machine standing less than 10 feet away from me. I thought it was all over until...
Oh, until what? We're gonna have to find out next time. Yeah, this... Honestly, you know, it's pretty much, I think, the same for the most part, though I think, yeah, we're not having as many grammar and spelling mess-ups. I don't know if it's just us playing it a little faster, but it does seem to be running a little bit smoother than before. I don't know, what do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. Again, these guys are doing a Kickstarter for the final chapter of this. We're going to probably play through the rest of First Slice, and then maybe Second Helping as well, if we have a little bit of time for it. But, yeah, go check out their Kickstarter, donate if you want to see this thing finished. I think they're also doing, like, something with the posters or something. It's like some sort of, like, daily quiz kind of thing. I wasn't really entirely sure at the time of this recording, but I might check it out myself to see what's going on there, so... Let them know if you like this, and come back next time when we find out if what kind of more stuff is improved in this game. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye!
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and feel free to check out some of our other gaming videos, our weekly podcast, Anime Yay or Nay, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!